Okay, so we got us Fuggel at 4.3% alpha acids. Alright. So we're just gonna taste this out. Might take a minute. I got a homebrew here that I made. I got over 6 ounces of hops in here. Many at super high alpha acids. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just gonna pour this, and I'll chew up this hop pellet, and we'll talk about the flavor associations with the hops. But I'll drink this beer after I taste the hop pellet, so as not to interfere. Alright. So, it's actually quite a dark green. Well, like hay, it's a lot like Golding's smelling. Hay, a little bit of rabbit food, a little bit of alfalfa. Well, this is really dank, like almost like a seaweed. It's quite spicy. It's kind of hot on the tongue. A lot of hay, a lot of like grassy and hay. A slight bit of like slight sourness, like a little bit of you don't want to quite say lemon. Yeah, it's a little bit spicier than Golding's. So, a lot of hay. Not as much horse shit as some, but a little bit. Definitely some horse shit and cow shit in there. Yeah, it's a lot like Golding's though. It's very similar. It'd be great in porter or something. Whew, not much to it though. Like, but the complexity is kind of in the horse shit characteristic of it. With that like seaweed type, a bit of mossiness. So yeah, there's some. It's definitely tasted like a bit of clay, a little bit earthy there. Grassy notes. Kind of what I was expecting. I know I've had it lots of times. I wanted to taste out Golding's and I wanted to taste out Fuggles to kind of see the difference. I think Fuggles. I tried the styrene Golding's, mind you, but I think Fuggles is a little bit danker, a little bit maybe more pungent, a little bit less light citrus tones in it. Like say more like a dank seaweed kind of horse shit characteristic in it. It just seems a little bit wetter, a little bit damper and wetter than the Golding's for sure. So it leaves a really kind of like dank aftertaste as well. But I think it would go very well in a darker ale, like especially a porter. So this is the beer that I brewed. Kind of went off the fly a little bit. I put 2 ounces of Bravo in at the beginning of the boil, which is enough to do 10 gallons IPA, but whatever. I threw both ounces of whole cone Bravo in. And then I did 2 ounces of Columbus halfway through, so it's already like super crazy IBUs. And then I threw in 2 ounces of Cascade to dry hop it in. This is a 5-gallon batch, remember? And last of my Glacier in as well. I think I threw Glacier in a Flame Out quite a bit, well over an ounce of Glacier. So there's a shit ton of hops in here, and then I oaked it with Irish whiskey. But a bunch of oak chips that were not burned, but just straight planed oak chips in a jar full of Irish whiskey. And I dry hopped it after the Croisen fell, and I also oaked it after the Croisen fell. I believe a few days after I added the Cascade. So it turns out, and this is, it is quite hot. It is very hoppy. It's just that with all the extra crystal malt I threw in here. So I put in a bunch of roasted barley. So you can see it's slightly transparent there. Quite a sweet aroma. But it's very oaky. I didn't think it would be that oaky. I put quite a few. They come at the wine store, a bag. I didn't throw the entire bag in, but I threw about 3/4 of it in. So I had a mason jar with about that much oak chips in it, and a whole shit ton of Irish whiskey. And so it is quite oaky when it warms up. So it's not too cold right now. I believe I got this recipe. I just kind of loosely followed one off Beersmith, and I used Brewer's Friends resources online, which was great for our IBU calculation, and I used that to give me the specifics on the grain bill as to how much ABV I would get and stuff like that. Great tools if you're into homebrew and you kind of want to design your own recipe and go off the fly. Those tools worked awesome. Okay, ABV on this. I wasn't that careful. It is very drinkable, and like the hops, it's supposed to be 130 IBU beer. Okay, and then my hydrometer said I'd be getting like 6.5% or something, but my Vin meter said it was 10.5 after I put the Irish whiskey in, so it's somewhere between there. And then I bottle conditioned it as well, so yeah. I'm not the best at keeping track of my hydrometer readings. You always hit my target efficiencies, but I didn't sparge very well. And yeah, so I think I lost some. I would say this is at least 7% though. So if you want to see all those other hop reviews, I reviewed all those hops before I put them in here. And these are the Fuggel. Just did the Fuggel. Did the Topaz the other night, which was super cool. If you're into, like, I believe this is an Australian hop. If you're into something a little more non-grapefruit, but orange and super spicy, at 16% alpha acids, check out the Topaz review. Next, Amarillo. I've been really looking forward to chewing Amarillo. Right there at 9.8% alpha acids. And Saz. And all these hops here I got through Hop Connect in Canada here. So very well-priced hops. And yeah, I'll be tasting one of all these out very shortly. I got other hops as well to taste out, and more beer to make. I got another beer ready to go, a honey ale. So pretty excited about that. So get your home brew on, and yeah, this one turned out pretty good. So because it was such a thick, like it's a Cascadian dark ale, really, with quite a bit of extra crystal in here. So I made it heavy because I was pretty sure I was gonna oak it with whiskey, so didn't thin it out too much. It's still, but it's very masked, and with this amount of IBU, I mean, it doesn't stop you. It's very well balanced. So yeah, just throw extra crystal in and hop the shit out of your stuff, and it should be fine. Hopefully, most of the time. And I'm out. Yeah.